I'm no stranger to unexplainable happenings. I've seen bizarre things all my life. The story I'm about to tell you is not about one event in particular, but circles around many events and tells of what I experienced for years. There is, however, one event that stands out to me more than the others. I guess the reason that I didn't freak out much at the time was because not too many things scared me. They still don't. Oh, sure, I do have some anxiety, and at times I will feel nervousness or panic, but hardly ever true fear. While it isn't a terrifying story, it's one that I like to share with my friends. Most of them believe me, others not so much. I don't remember every detail, as memories sometimes fade, and in the past I've had bad derealization, feeling like you're living in a constant dream, confusing random thoughts with actual fact. But I do remember a lot. It all started when I was quite young. I am almost positive that my grandmother's house was haunted. It always felt like there was another presence in the house, besides her. I came to the conclusion of the supernatural as soon as I learned what it was. My mother, grandma, and grandfather moved to Colorado and into the house in 1979. Almost 10 years later, my grandfather died in that house. Come to find out, there may also be an underground river beneath the street. No telling who could have died down there. For years, I would often see shadows around doorways or just inside a room, the kind that you see out of the corner of your eye, that disappear as soon as you glance in their direction. There were always strange noises. The floors and walls creaked, and the staircase, even though it was carpeted, sometimes sounded as if more than one person was on it. Everyone brushed it off as being an old house, making noise, the wind, or some other logical reason. But me, I didn't entirely believe that. Across from the staircase, on the living room wall, was a large mirror. On the other side of the staircase, in the entry hall, stood a large clock about 7 feet in height. As a child, I would often sit on the stairs, facing either direction, and watch my reflection, or the clock's hands, for long periods of time, until I would get lonely or intimidated sitting there by myself. I would always have nightmares in that house. Nightmares or strange dreams that make no sense but still leave you shaken when you wake up. And in the dreams, the setting was usually the house. On one occasion, my dream was entirely red and black, as if I was covered in blood. Once, when I was younger, I want to say about 6 or 7, I had wandered upstairs and was walking around the upstairs hallway. I'll give you a quick layout of the house. When you walk through the front door, the staircase is right in front of you, to the left. On the left of the staircase is the living room, which leads to a formal dining room. And to the right of the staircase is the entry hall and a bathroom. The hallway leads you right into the kitchen, and to the left of the kitchen is the family room. Underneath the stairs, in the kitchen, is the door that leads down to the basement. If you were to go up the stairs, you would find yourself in a long white hallway, with the master bedroom and another bedroom to the right, and an office, bathroom, and extra bedroom over the garage to the left. On this particular day, I was walking around upstairs, and I can't remember if it felt like I was being watched or if I was daydreaming. I was heading in the direction of one bedroom beside the office, when something tapped me on the shoulder. I screamed, loud as hell, and whipped around to see who or what was behind me. My grandmother stumbled back, looking as bewildered as I was, and said something along the lines of, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry." I don't remember exactly what she said. I was surprised. She'd never been one to sneak up on me like that. I'd always known when she was coming. If anyone was scaring anyone else, I was the one scaring her. I forgot about it later on. A few years later, while I was spending a few days at her house, I slept in the large bedroom by the office, as I sometimes would. The only thing about that room was that it was really unnerving at night. The few ceiling lights that were in there were built close to the doorway, farthest from the bed. On one side of the bed was an air conditioner built into the wall, and on the other side was a door to the huge walk-in closet. The worst thing about that closet door was that it was usually left open. Come to think of it, most of the house was rather creepy at night. Anyway, as I was laying in the bed, thinking completely random things, the one light that I had on in the room went out. The entire room turned pitch black, and I could hear things throughout the house. It felt so much like something was watching me, and I pulled the blankets over my head. There was a lamp on one side of the bed, sitting on an end table, but I didn't want to reach out to turn it on for fear of knocking it over. I just sat there perfectly still for as long as I could, until finally I just risked knocking the lamp over and reached out to turn it on. I slept with it on like that all night, even though it was blinding. It was events like these that sometimes made me feel on edge while I was there, but I still found things to distract myself. Finally, when I was 13 years of age, my grandmother moved in with my mother and I. She couldn't quite care for herself anymore, and she was starting to misplace things and forget others. The most significant event in that house happened to me the year we left it behind. One day, I was upstairs, minding my own business, packing boxes in the bedroom next to the master bedroom. I was upstairs by myself and thought nothing of it until I again got the feeling I was being watched. I brushed it off and went back to what I was doing. It was then that I clearly heard the sound of footsteps coming down the hallway towards the room I was in. I froze, scared at this point. The sound had caught me off guard. I only heard the footsteps for a few seconds, then a loud creak from one of the walls, as if someone was leaning on it. I don't know how I broke out of my trance, but I managed to stand up and dart out of the room. There was no one in the hallway. As I ran to the stairs, it crossed my mind that no one could have come up here and gone back down without me seeing them. I bolted down the stairs and ran through the house, where I found my mom, grandma, and the movers who were taking furniture out to a trailer. They looked a little surprised to see me running. I asked if anyone had been upstairs just now. They all said no. I loitered a bit before going back upstairs. My mother came up to see what I was doing a while later, and I told her what had happened. I knew that she believed me. She had seen the look on my face earlier. That was almost 4 years ago. My grandma finally died last summer. Alzheimer's disease is a hard way to go. I'm 17 now, and I haven't seen that house since the day I left.